welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. In this particular episode, I'd like to talk about what some people view as a quick, easy way to get the green card, but in reality could end up being the worst decision they ever made in their lives. As many people know, marrying a U.S. citizen does give a relatively quick way in which to either enter the United States or to stay in the United States and get lawful permanent residency. And there's many people out there that are tempted to, for example, pay several $1,000s to make the marriage look real, only to find out that it's not quite so easy to defraud the U.S. government to get the green card. So let me just give you some examples. Sometimes, even though a person has paid that money and has essentially committed fraud and even gotten the green card, and they think they're home free, they still have to file the petition to remove the conditional residency in 2 years after issuance of the green card. Sometimes they will receive from the person they paid threats years later saying, I'm a little low on money, I need this amount of money, or else immigration is going to be magically notified about our little arrangement. And what happens is, you think that once you got the green card, and once you even did the petition to remove the conditional residency, that you're home free, but you're not. I've seen it time after time again that the person who did this just ends up putting you on the hook year after year after year, and it never ends. And even if you decide to become a U.S. citizen, if they ultimately find out that you had originally gotten the green card through this fraudulent marriage, they will most likely put you into denaturalization proceedings and then deport you. So there's always that issue that you have to be aware of. Secondly, when it's determined that you have committed marriage fraud, the law says you are not supposed to receive any immigration benefits the rest of your life. Okay? I mean, let's say that in 1982, you married somebody by paying them off and trying to get through the system, and it was denied, and you found out that they ruled that you committed marriage fraud. And then 10 years later, you fall madly in love with someone, you have 13 kids, and you couldn't be happier, and then you file another petition thinking, well, this is definitely a real marriage, shouldn't be a problem. The problem is that the original decision, which was filed many years ago, which stated that you committed marriage fraud, prevents you from obtaining the green card on the new legitimate marriage. So it sticks with you forever, and it is difficult to get out of. So first things first, don't do that. Okay, the consequences are severe, and while you may think in reality that you're smarter than an immigration officer who this is all he or she does day in and day out, you're wrong. It's very easy to spot a fraudulent marriage. I mean, it is. You don't really live together. You have only memorized the ridiculously few things that you think the officer will ask. You're going to be supremely nervous at the interview. You're going to be separated. They're going to ask questions and items of each of you separately, of which, maybe you discussed 1/10 of what the officer asked, and of that 1/10, you'll be so nervous you won't even remember that part. So there's lots of ways to come in legally, and lots of ways people just don't know about. So, contact an immigration attorney who knows what they're doing, and they'll find you a good way to legally come in. Now, let's say that you've already done this, or even if you didn't do it, let's say that the judge ruled, or the immigration officer ruled many years ago that you committed marriage fraud. Now, a lot of times when you're not represented by an attorney and answers are different, officers will just jump to the conclusion that there's marriage fraud. I mean, the reality is, legitimate marriages, they don't know everything about the others. I would venture to say probably half the people watching this don't know the color toothbrush of their spouse. So, when little things like that are not answered properly, some officers will just jump right on the bandwagon and issue a ruling of marriage fraud. So how can you resolve that? Well, first of all, um, if you were, for example, to come to my office, first I'd see when it was issued and perhaps do a motion to reopen, motion to reconsider. Secondly, which happens in a lot of cases, the first marriage doesn't work out and then they find a second marriage and they file thinking everything will be okay. You can actually file the second marriage petition and argue the legitimacy of why the first one was not fraudulent. And that can be done through legal brief, declarations, evidence, exhibits, all kinds of stuff in order to show it. So it is possible to get out of it. And even if years later, again, you don't have to do a motion to reopen the original decision, you just would argue why it wasn't fraudulent in the second adjustment application. So it's all doable. Okay, it's just a matter of properly preparing it and submitting it. So if you like the video, click like, subscribe, and more on the coming weeks. Thank you.